Violation of ordinance.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
The power of God compels you. The power of God compels you. The power of God compels you.
And his administration.
Carol, as a former council person, I'm asking you,
It doesn't matter.
He's a plant.
stop talking out in the public,
Make sure
please.
you stop like my business. I'm not no plant, buddy. I'm not no plant.
You're
I'm
on
part of
Rodriguez
Orama.
payroll.
I'm part of Orama. That's who I am.
You're on his payroll.
Nobody cares. Full court press here, back in Dover for another council meeting. Gonna roll up and see who's here, if anybody's here yet, and should be starting soon. So stay tuned.
Got like 20 of them.
There comes Mayor Dodge and Gomer Pyle himself.
Is that the guy that beats up on the homeless?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
That's the guy right there?
Yeah.
That's him.
Beats up on homeless people?
Yeah, that's him.
I know he wasn't there no more.
He beats up on the homeless. He
That guy right there?
yeah, he tries to use his power to intimidate local business owners. Yeah, that's him.
Welcome everyone. Infamous.
Beat up any homeless people this week, Rodriguez?
That's not the whole story,
It is this video that has Rodriguez facing charges of harassment and simple assault after he approached 3 presumably homeless men who were allegedly drinking alcohol on a bench and kicks a bottle out of one of their hands.
There's the kick.
The video was obtained by citizens who submitted an open public records request for it after the edited version that the councilman posted didn't show the physical contact.
You have a sitting elected official going out practicing vigilante justice.
Chief Jonathan Delaney, who defended his officers at a council meeting soon after the incident, was served with a disciplinary action, which is now awaiting arbitration. And while some business owners we spoke to did agree the homeless issue is a problem, and many more people told us they believe Rodriguez went too far.
That's irresponsible on his part, no question. I mean, like, human beings are human beings, deserve to be treated like human beings with respect.
That's the story.
Sergio, you beat any homeless people up this week?
And someone said,
And where they go live.
Does there need to be any more to it? I mean,
Yeah. Does there need to be any more to it? He doesn't have, nobody, did that homeless person consent to being beaten?
that's more. That's who.
Sergio, did the homeless person consent to being beaten?
Unless they don't.
He's trying to manage you right now.
Sergio, did the homeless man consent to being beaten? I just asked you a question. You're in recess right now.
You know, we don't need that. We're here for a meeting. We don't need to hear you. Just stop it. Please stop it.
The meeting hasn't started, sir.
There's no need for that.
He's talking to us.
I think there's no need
We're talking to a
on
council member.
homeless people, really. I think you're outraged at the wrong thing. Unless that's your friend. Is he threatening you?
Attorney, we just asked him if the homeless man gave consent to being beaten, that's all.
Apparently there's some people who condone that
In the state of
behavior.
New Jersey, you can't give consent to aggravated assault, just so you know that. I cannot, if I want you to tase me, you can't do it because I can't consent. The meeting hasn't started.
When they start, we know. We're gonna start.
It's not in the meeting, sorry. But right now, I want to be an independent journalist, and I'm just wondering if the homeless man gave consent to being beaten.
Right, you're going to ask questions before the meeting starts.
Of course.
It hasn't started yet.
Sergio, did the homeless man consent to being beaten?
Very good question. Is it appropriate to beat a homeless man as Sergio did?
Is it appropriate to criminally coerce business owners by threatening them to remove their license? Is that appropriate?
The reason why you defend violent councilmen, I don't know why you would defend that guy, Sergio.
There's a violent criminal on the loose, but let's all be comfortable, though. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Let's all be comfortable.
I'm not concerned with his comfort.
No dissension, please.
Is the cop texting with Sergio Rodriguez? He just texted a message and Sergio Rodriguez just picked up his phone. Are you texting the cop? Leroy, Oprah request Sergio Rodriguez text, and you will see he just texted Lieutenant Pierre.
All right. Yep.
We're gonna open request. It's all right, Sergio. I'm gonna see your message in 7 days.
Before we get started, my name is Ramon Rivera. I'm the town attorney here, and I would like to make a statement and review our ordinance concerning video recording at the meeting, so that we're all aware of what the ordinance says in the law. So under the Dover Town Code, it restricts videotaping in a reasonable manner as outlined in Chapter 2, Section 6F4 of the town's code. Specifically, it provides any camera or recording device, including cell phones and tablets, if used for recording purposes, shall be stationary and shall be located in an inconspicuous location in the meeting room. Every effort shall be made to locate recording devices toward the rear of the meeting room so as to not interfere with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Stationary equipment, once positioned, shall not be moved during the public meeting. The equipment utilized shall operate silently while cell phone video recording is permitted. Cell phones with recording capabilities shall be silent. All video and audio recording shall be performed in a manner that is not unreasonably obtrusive or disruptive of the proceedings and in violation of any federal or state law and any law or regulation governing the safety of persons or property. The New Jersey Supreme Court has held, while there is a common law right to video a municipal council meeting, a municipality in New Jersey may enact reasonable restrictions regarding the type and number of cameras, positioning of cameras, activity and location of the operator to ensure the order of business at public meetings. That's Harris v. Borough Hill, 189 New Jersey, 497. In Terrace, the court found that recording from the back of the room was appropriate, citing Maurice River Township Board of Education v. Maurice River Township Teachers Association, 193 NJ Super 488, that's a 2007 case. Accordingly, the town requires the code to be followed to prevent disruption of public meetings. So at this point, I'm going to instruct members of the public to comply with our ordinance. And all video recording devices should be moved to the rear row. And I'm going to ask the individuals sitting there to move to allow for individuals to move there to comply with the ordinance. I have copies of our ordinance here. We have 9 of them, or 8 of them if individuals want to see it. I'm also going to ask that the recording device here be removed and put in the back of the room because it's blocking egress for the police officer.
I do have an issue with that because you guys
I'm not going to
recorded
argue
the
with you,
last
sir.
meeting.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just telling you what our law and our ordinance says. It's been in place for over 20 years here in Dover. So I'm asking that all recording devices be removed, moved to the back, and individuals who are recording be moved. You standing and recording is clear disruption because you're blocking the people behind you from seeing, and that violates our ordinance. Now, if you do not follow these rules, we have the right to ask that you turn off your recording device or otherwise have the recording device removed from the meeting room. We'll give everyone a few minutes to comply, and then we'll have to address anyone who's not. So please move to the rear in accordance with our ordinance. You have to move this recording device and the one there in front of, in the second row, Mr. Truth.
It's not blocking anybody.
It's blocking someone right behind you. It needs to move
Is it
to the
blocking
rear.
you?
It's clearly blocking. I'm not to debate. Please move to the back or it'll be
It's up to her. She's the one, so she's the one who's blocking it, so I'll make sure that it is not blocking you. So, would you like my seat? Who was the one that was recording? I'll give you my seat, man.
And this device has to move so it's not blocking in and out. Can't be in the hall. Sit down.
I'm not gonna get a comment.
You're gonna have to remove that device, and if you're disrupted, you'll
The
have
problem is, you guys had a phone up here that was recording the last meeting. It was actually blocking the whole audience, right here, in this general spot. So, for you to say I have to move my camera, because now we're all here, shedding light. It's a show. Is insane.
It's not a debate. I've given my recommendation, my advice. You can decide what you want to do.
I mean, I'm gonna leave it there, and if the officer says I'm gonna be threatened with a summons or something, then I'll move it.
All right, so under section D of the aforementioned ordinance, which is under chapter 264D, it reads as follows. If the individual is operating recording equipment, the mayor or presiding officer shall announce publicly the requirements, what I just did. The mayor or individual presiding shall have the authority to require disruptive video recording operators to either turn off the recording device or otherwise have the recording device removed from the meeting room.
He's now activated.
Mayor, I recommend that the device be removed so that it's safe, so that we don't have to trip over in case there's an emergency.
So at the advice of legal counsel.
Here it goes.
So at the advice of legal counsel, I'm going to ask you to please remove the recording device that the attorney has spoken.
Violation of the night. No, I understand what you're saying.
He said, would you do that? He said, would you do that?
No, I don't.
Lieutenant Pierre, State of New Jersey, Mr. Rodriguez says if you're not physically disrupting the meeting, he's not a physical disruption. State of New Jersey, Mr. Rodriguez.
Say it so he could hear you, so you could take his qualified immunity route too.
Mr. Rodriguez. We'll file the tort claim afterwards, don't worry. State of New Jersey versus Trzaskowski, you cannot charge someone with a 2C charge of disrupting the official proceedings if they're not a physical disruption.
Unlawful commands, again, the Constitution's being violated, right?
Now that the device has been removed, there's no longer any disruption with respect to that device.
Are you a part of Mayor Bush's law firm still? Are you
All right,
still?
so I'm going
He
to
knows
now
what I'm
ask
talking about.
that we stop speaking from the public. Please do not be disruptive in this meeting. We're going to start our council meeting here tonight, and I'm going to ask the public to please refrain from comments from the public. You'll have an opportunity to come up and speak at the public portion. At this time, we're going to go into committee reports. Councilwoman Ford.
Yes. Meeting report from the...
Your camera's disruptive, sir.
We're going to go into public comment on agenda items only. If you have a comment on the agenda, anything on the agenda, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
May I make a statement?
Yep, absolutely. Please.
Good evening again. This is the public comment statement for the town of Dover. The town of Dover highly values the input of residents in making important decisions that affect the residents of our community. We also believe in the rights of residents to observe council meetings. To ensure that all of our residents have the opportunity to offer comment, each statement shall be held to a time of 3 minutes. Please be courteous and mindful of the rights of others when providing comments. Comments may not be abusive, obscene, or threatening. All members of the public attending the mayor and council meetings must treat each other and the mayor with respect. Individuals offering comments are not permitted to make personal attacks on any town employees, the mayor, or any member of town government. Other testifiers are members of the Thank you.
Anyone in the public wish to be heard on any agenda item, please step forward.
I do.
Carol Ruiz, 43 Park Ave, Dover, New Jersey. Regarding Resolution 53-2025, committing to the DCA fourth round affordable housing needs in Dover. Despite meeting previous affordable housing obligations, and despite a relatively low number of present need and prospective need obligations under this fourth round, our community has a moral obligation that is separate from any legal obligations to ensure that all residents have access to safe, affordable housing.
Until you resign, I don't approve of any of this. Too much corruption going on. So, in regards to these resolutions, I don't really approve of it. Too much time to have. It'd be nice if I could see it. I know it's only 3 minutes, but I don't know how difficult that would be to have the time, even right here on a phone, so the speakers can see their time. So until simple stuff like that is even done, I don't approve any of it. You know, let me see my time with it. Is it my up?
You just speak the agenda items. You want to speak? I'll speak. Hello. So, I was absolutely not planning on speaking on agenda items, but since we had to be petty with cameras, why not, right? Resolution approving taxis, limos to be licensed on the time of Dover. I'm not concerned, but I think there's two things that I was concerned with. The video surveillance systems, are we gonna be positioning those in the back of the public works building? Or in the front, or does it matter? Is it against one of your rules? My comment, or your comment at the end if you so choose. Okay, so we'll just figure out the position throughout the building. I don't think I agree with that resolution until you tell us specifically where the cameras are going to be placed throughout the building, how much we're spending on the cameras, or what involvement we encounter, the cooperative and how that works. Regarding resolution 53 about affordable housing, I don't think I can agree with that resolution either because I think I need more information. What I know is that we were saying there's a lack of affordable housing, and that probably leads to a lot of homeless people, and we know what happens to the homeless here in Dover. So yeah, until we have more information, if Sergio is involved with the housing development or any of that stuff, because I don't want to get beat up. I'm sorry, did I offend you? Please, don't hurt me. But yeah, regarding the housing, how much time do I have left, sir? Oh, thank you, appreciate that. See? That's working with us. But yeah, you know, so if we're going to be petty and do tit for tat, I guess that's what we're going to do here. But shared service agreement for animal control services. There are some animals that need controlling. So yeah, we might have to approve that one. Hopefully we can get the animals in Dover under control. And that's why we're here. Thank you. I'll get out the rest of my time.
Osvaldo Rama, 361 East McFarland Street, Dover native all my life. I'm not an hour out from the country, somewhere else. I approve everything you guys are doing. The agenda that's on there, all the resolutions, I want you guys to approve it. You know why I want you guys to approve it? Because we got outsiders saying don't approve it. So it's got to be good. I'm not going to be like everybody else. You guys are doing a hell of a job, every one of you. Don't listen to these clowns back here. You guys are doing a hell of a job. And you know what? I'm not afraid of getting beat up. You know why? Because I'm Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican sometimes laugh all you want. But no es lo mismo llamar al diablo que verlo venir. You guys gotta know what the hell that means if you speak Spanish. But listen, you guys are doing a hell of a job. All you newcomers on the board, don't get intimidated by these people.
They've never even
all they
been
do
here.
is bark. All they do is bark. That's all they are, bark. You guys are doing a hell of a job. And citizens of Dover, people who live here, who worship this town, because we were born and raised here, we love the way you guys are running this town. So everything on that agenda, yes, talking about the agenda, approve it. Vote yes on the agenda. Why? Because these clowns are against it, right? I'm done talking.
Rebuttal?
No, you had an opportunity to speak already, right?
No, I didn't.
You have one opportunity.
He didn't speak.
Oh, I
No,
thought
you're
you
talking to someone else.
I'm sorry, I thought you were speaking.
So I thought we were speaking on agenda items only, so this guy.
I spoke on the agenda. I want them to approve the agenda.
I'm gonna speak on the.
That's what I said.
He's interrupting the speaker.
I'm gonna speak
You're
on the.
highly agitated.
He looked at me.
Stop disturbing the meeting.
All right, listen,
Why
I'm
can't you
gonna
be
ask
more?
you, please respect the person at the microphone as you're respected when you speak. Please, try not to refrain from speaking out in the audience, please. I want to have an organized meeting. Thank you.
We don't agree with anything that the town stands for because of all the corruption. I don't approve of anything that you guys have on the agenda. And neither of you, these guys behind me. You have people that try to intimidate business owners at their place of business. And for that, it's great. And for you to let it happen is insane. I asked you if you like my shirt. You like my shirt?
Mayor, I just want to remind you, please make your comments related to the agenda. If you're going to speak on agenda items, there is a portion then for general public comment. Thank you.
Rebuttal?
Anyone else in the public wish to speak that has not been heard yet?
Yeah, I guess I will.
Let's go.
So, God bless you, this gentleman here, First Amendment, you have every right to do it, so God bless you, I'm serious. And you also disrupted the meeting, but nobody said anything about that. It's very exciting. Now, resolution approving taxi limos to be licensed in the town of Dover, approving taxi cab driver licenses, authorizing the submission of Green Acres grant application, appointing crossing guards, accepting a grant from Firehouse Subs, Public Safety Foundation Board of Directors, say no, do not pass those, because the amount of corruption that I've received, Mayor Dodd, since I was asked to come here, the allegations against you, Sergio Rodriguez, some of the others, is profound. So if there are agenda items, just like this gentleman here was saying, I'm going to approve them because we have these people here who are saying they should be disapproved. I don't trust any of them, that there isn't some shady deal going on with every single one of these. So I vote not to approve. Oh, thank you. And by the way, I love working together, so I see the time there. Thank you. And so, do not approve them. Now, when it says authorizing the submission of Green Acres grant application, I only know the show Green Acres that was on TV many years ago. I'm not really sure what that has to do with anything here. But finally, it's just say no to all of these items because I have a spidey sense that there are machinations underneath the surface, that there may be shady dealings. Thank you. God bless you. See you soon.
Yield back.
Yield back.
So I will address some of the issues that were brought up tonight. Attached to every agenda, seeing no voices and hearing no voices, seeing them as I close this to the public. Everyone had an opportunity to get an agenda in the back of the room. Every agenda has a resolution attached. It's on here for a vote tonight. The comments that were made to not approve these resolutions, in my opinion, is ludicrous. We have a town to run here. We have business to conduct. This town must continue whether outsiders come into our community and like it or not. As an elected body, we have an obligation to continue to manage and govern this town, and I will do just that. The voters elected me in 2023 by 71% of the margin to come back and clean up the mess that happened in the last 4 years. I will do it. I'm committed to doing it, and I will do it. The resolutions that were suggested to this board to vote no on because there's this assumption of corruption, prove it.
You are chasing a story that has Well, raised some eyebrows, in my case, has almost made my head explode. A 50 to 60% raise for members of the council and the mayor in Dover. What do you got?
Bill, when the news broke last week about the mayor and aldermen of Dover, New Jersey and Morris County approving a 50 to 60% pay raise for themselves among other city positions, I think we were all pretty taken aback by those numbers. Dover residents I spoke with thought it was extreme. I spent 2 days trying to track down the mayor and never got a response. But that changed Tuesday night at a town hall meeting. There's been a lot of media flap about the 50 to 60% pay raises. Are you thinking twice about implementing the pay raises?
Absolutely not.
Dodd's salary went from $31,000 to more than $49,000, and aldermen's salaries went from $12,000 to more than $18,000. Joining us via Skype is Ray Caprio. He teaches courses about local government at Rutgers University. And Ray, I have to ask, are these pay raises highway robbery, or as the mayor put it, are they warranted?
I would ask the question, is it really appropriate to implement a 50 or 60% immediate increase in an environment in which wages have been stagnant? We have a 2% property tax cap.
I look at this as the height of political corruption. This is egregious. It's incredible if the voters reward these clowns with another term.
Right, but elected officials are just that, elected by the people. Shouldn't we have a vote in whether or not they're doing their job well enough to warrant that kind of a pay increase?
Ray, thank you. I appreciate your insight on this. Thanks for joining us. Ashley, you're going to keep chasing this. I'm disgusted by this. I think the idea, to me, this is a theft of public money.
Anything else?
He wants to intimidate us. Let him think we're intimidated by him. Still sitting down there? I think they just drove by. Fernando, keep going. Keep going. Fernando, keep going, I said. Roll down the window, you Get a picture of him, Fernando. I'm recording. Keep going. Call the cop. I'm gonna call the police.
That's the mayor of Dover.
Anything else?
There's one person in this room, one sole person, that is in charge of the police department. And you override him and you tell him what to do. And that's Anthony Smith, who's the chief of police. You have no right to step into his business. Maybe none of this would have happened if you didn't try to control this town. You said the truth hurts. Let's talk about the truth. Because I know you since you were a little kid. I know you when you were a drug dealer. I know you when you ran the illegal garage for 10 years on guidance.
Tyranny, I'm going to ask you to please lower your voice.
Hey, I'm passionate, okay? The truth hurts. The truth hurts. You need to step down. You have no respect for anybody, for none of your employees.
Anything else? Thank you. At this time, I'll open this portion to the public. Anyone in the public wish to be heard on any item, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
I'm actually scared of retaliation if I mention my additional continued connection to Dover. But as much as some of you and your minions love to be hypocrites, sitting up there using Dover addresses while not actually living in Dover, but then turning around and calling people outsiders, I am not an outsider. I truly cannot believe that we're here again, facing the violent actions of an unhinged narcissist who is still a city council person, despite numerous calls to resign, including from the mayor himself. So I'm here to call for Councilman Rodriguez to resign. By the way, it's hilarious that he brought up safety when he's the biggest threat to safety in this town. And as a reminder that even though there's corruption and there's intimidation and retaliation, it might feel like you control everything in Dover, but your fate is always at the hands of regular people like us. The fear of transparency, the fear of cameras, these are classic fascist tactics. Why are you so scared of the public seeing these meetings? If you were so confident that you're acting right, why do you want to be so secretive about what goes on in these meetings? You think your power is infinite, and you navigate the world as such, threatening people, physically assaulting them. I advise you to, in the words of the brilliant Kendrick Lamar, be humble.
Sit down.
Am I recognized?
You have to take your mask off.
Am I recognized? Is it? No. It's my First Amendment right to wear a mask. Thank you.
It's not a protected right, sir.
It is a protected right.
Here we go.
But I'm gonna come back all the way back. I'll fight it another time, because, I'm gonna file a tort claim though on you. You know why I'm here, Mr. Dodd? So, my friend of mine, I came here from Middlesex County, and I watched your video while I was home. A friend of mine said, I guess you and Sergio Rodriguez, he said you guys have little dick energy. And all of a sudden, you called out a police officer to use a compliance hold on him, on a disabled man that he drove him here himself just to defend his team. Just to stand up for handicapped people's rights, disabled people's rights. And you had one of your officers torture this man right here. I watched it when I was home. Absolute scumbag type stuff. And another reason why I'm here is because I'm watching news articles that you're intimidating people through the chair to Sergio Rodriguez. You're intimidating people at their own businesses. You're beating up homeless people. What's wrong with you, sir? What's going on with you? Would you like to resign? If you had any integrity, you would resign. It's taken. Look how much energy it takes for him just to keep himself in control. I wonder how he behaves when he's not out of here. Absolutely disgusting. Beating up homeless people. You're a scumbag, Sergio Rodriguez. You should resign. Absolutely disgusting. What you did to my friend right there, I don't care that you said you have little dick energy. I think it's worse than that. You're just a scumbag. You're a scumbag, you're a tyrant, you're a Nazi. Things like that have not been seen since Hitler's days when he used to have this Nazi judge. When people, defendants came up, he would say, take off your belt, take off your shoes, take off your mask, like he just told me, your mask. Would you tell a veteran to take off his mask, hiding a disfigurement? Would you do that? First Amendment protected activity? Absolutely disgusting what's going on in this town. You're all tyrants, for even the women up here, and especially the men, not to call out Sergio Rodriguez, not to use your own time, not to call out Sergio Rodriguez. Your silence speaks volumes. Your silence, you enable this man. You enable this man. The fact that people have to come here from out of town because none of you are saying anything publicly.
That's right.
Goes to show you that each of
Excuse me, sir, your time is up. Thank you.
No, their time is up, and Rodriguez scumbag time is up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here, here.
All right, I don't give my name, I don't give my address, and the reason why is because we have freedom of speech. That's the smartest thing that was done all night, was that you did that. We have freedom of speech. You can't force my speech by making me give my personal sensitive information. It's a Fourth Amendment. I'm not going to exchange my Fourth Amendment right to come in here and exercise my First. That's my freedom of speech. And you can't disallow certain words because then you're forcing statements. You're forcing people's speech. We all have American values, do we not? So freedom of speech is the most important thing. That's why we can call him a scumbag. We can call him a scumbag. We can do that if we want. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Sergio, if you have an anger management problem and you want to rise to the top, join the MMA, brother.
Yeah.
Join the MMA, because this ain't the job for you to be acting like that. Beating up homeless people? You think you're a tough guy, don't you? You are a disgrace. You are a disgrace. And you talk about out-of-towners? Mayor James P. Dodd? I heard you don't even live here. That's what I heard. So who's the out-of-towner now, bitch? I'm here because of my friend here. And you want to call him an out-of-towner? Do you even know who he is? Do you know the work that he's done in Dover?
Talk about Blue Diamond picking up recyclables and trash. This man has picked up recyclables and trash with multiple cleanups. And you thought you had the right to do that to him? That's why we're here. That's why we're all here. And he was here to address the shit that he was doing, beating up homeless people. So the problem is here. You know, and you sowed your own fate. That's why everybody is out here. Out-of-towners. This is the first time where I'm talking to an out-of-towner as the mayor.
Let's go.
How did this happen? That is wild. Absolutely wild. and does that make you feel better? Saying, oh, out-of-towners came in? Well, if not the out-of-towners, who else? You'll retaliate against all these residents. That's what you do to them. We know better. You can't touch me in this town. You can't touch me in this town. My police know me. My elected officials know me. That's why out-of-towners come to towns like this and fix these problems. Because how else? Until you resign, and you too, both of you.
Both of you.
We'll be back here every meeting.
That lady right there.
Every meeting will come back here. Smartest thing you get all night. In fact, why didn't the business minister, why didn't any of you guys ever suggest that? Because we don't like transparency here in Dover? We don't film the meetings? We do things in secret, closed-door government? Unbelievable. Most of the residents that don't speak out, it's because they live here. It's because they live here. You understand that, right? But you know what they're saying? They're saying you don't.
Mic drop.
So, I recognize? Awesome, thank you very much. So, I just want to shoot it straight. I understand you guys are going to get a lot of insults here, but I just want to shoot you straight. So this is a video. You asked earlier in this meeting that you wanted to see proof. This is a video of him, Sergio Rodriguez, kicking homeless people. You yourself, and I'll actually pull up these articles here, called for his resignation yourself, and that's according to Daily Record, Putnam Daily, News 12, New Jersey, Morris County NJ, WRNJ Radio. So again, I really just want to shoot you straight. Like, I don't understand how you can say that the idea of corruption being here is ludicrous when you yourself called for it and there's proof. I literally found this by Googling his name and Dover, and it's up there. So, do you just not look at it yourself? Do you not? That's just what my genuine question is. I hope you're gonna appreciate that I'm not insulting you guys, but like, it's still weird. And I don't understand how, okay, that's just my main question here, is how can you legitimately say you aren't either aware of corruption or you think it's ludicrous that it's even being assumed that there is some here, when all of this is like public knowledge?
South Jersey News. I drove down here from Atlantic City to come here. It's 2.5 hours in traffic. Sergio Rodriguez, through the sheriff, Sergio Rodriguez, you like to beat up homeless people, and you're going to court tomorrow, I believe. So I would like to say to anybody that's going to court, good luck, but I can't say that to you. You should, whatever happens, you deserve it. And I hope that Mayor God or you don't influence the people that are don't influence the people that are in charge of the day. Sam Martin always said, do you know your First Amendment rights? Do you know them? Do you know them? If I want to put a camera up here, I should be able to put a camera up here. There should be no ordinance against the First Amendment. So the First Amendment, I'm going to read them all to you guys, is freedom of religion, the right to practice any religion at all. Then the freedom of speech. So whatever we want to say, we can say it, right? As long as it's not harmful to anyone, right? Or threatening anyone, right? So we have the freedom of press. That's what we're doing, right? If I want to put my camera over here, or I want to put my camera over here, or I want to put it over here, I should be able to do that, right? Freedom of assembly. I'm happy that we assembled here today. If it wasn't for that right, I mean, we wouldn't be here. And then, last but not least is the right to petition our government. that's another reason why we're here. We're trying to petition our government. So abuse of power doesn't happen. We brought this as a sentiment. It's my little bottle of alcohol, because I hear you don't like alcoholics or anybody drinking. I like to drink. I'm not an alcoholic, but maybe the people are, maybe they like to drink. So what? Let them do it. If it causes a disturbance, let the cops handle it. Or call the cops. Don't take it in your own hands. That's fucking ridiculous. That's all I have to say.
Good evening. I go by Full Court Press. Our YouTube channel is Full Court Press NB, N as in news, E as in break. You called us outsiders. Not sure what you meant by that. I'm an American, sir. I'm a constitutional activist. However, as a visitor here in Dover, I must say my first impression of the town has been overshadowed by the troubling actions of Councilman Sergio Rodriguez. I'll get back to that. Now, while I commend the Dover Police Department for protecting my constitutional rights during my last visit, the behavior of some, including the mayor and his volunteers here in Dover, have left much to be desired, particularly the allegations of Sergio Rodriguez. Driving into Dover are worn out, faded signs at the town's entrance that Rodriguez discusses on his Instagram page. They may have once have stood as symbols of pride, but now they reflect neglect and decay. Ironically, Rodriguez's character has become like those signs, a tarnished reminder of what happens when accountability is ignored. Let's be clear about why I, and so many others here, including yourself, Mayor Dodd, as well as Dover residents and business owners, are calling for his immediate resignation. In February 2024, Rodriguez was charged with simple assault and harassment after allegedly attacking a homeless man, kicking him, and causing visible injuries. Disgusting. These are not the actions of public servants, they're the actions of a bully. In September 2024, Rodriguez was charged again, this time with aggravated assault, for allegedly slamming a man's head into the concrete during a confrontation. Disgusting. This incident was not just violent, but a complete abuse of power and decency. And in October 2024, Rodriguez faced charges of criminal coercion for allegedly threatening a local liquor store's license renewal, leveraging his position for personal intimidation. Disgusting. This pattern of behavior is unacceptable, indefensible, and irreparable. Rodriguez, you betrayed this community's trust, tarnished your reputation, and proven yourself unfit to serve. You are dismissed.
You dismissed.
You
failed your mission.
A call for Rodriguez's resignation without follow-through is a failure of leadership. Dover needs decisive action, not empty statements. If Rodriguez refuses to step down, it's your responsibility to pursue all necessary measures to remove him from office, much like you're pursuing measures to remove us. To be continued.
Before the next speaker, I'm going to reiterate my prior comments to the members here. Please adhere to what I stated in the beginning. No, don't start. So, officer, I'm going to ask you to please address this individual here who needs to be in the rear of the room as I instructed at the beginning. Otherwise,
I don't understand that. Every other place we speak, there's always.
So I'm not going to debate
This is
members
unconstitutional.
from the public, from the floor. I really appreciate you adhere to our rules.
The rules are
I appreciate it,
unconstitutional.
especially if you've been here and you've known that we've said that for the last
You've
year.
never said that before.
Liar.
Never.
We don't debate
Never.
backwards.
Don't
So,
endorse
I
it.
said it,
Attorney.
I've made my recommendation.
Go figure, lying
Mayor,
attorney.
please address.
Are you talking about me?
All right, I'm gonna, we have advice of legal counsel. I'm going to ask the police department to please adhere to our attorney's comments.
Unconstitutional.
But it's all just to cover DLD's clause.
I recognize
You have a right here. Well, whoever's doing it. turn it off.
I have notes here, that's all I have.
Okay, officer, if there's someone that's playing music, through the mayor, I'm gonna recommend to you, just please address that. You have a right to deliver your comment. That's your only right, okay?
You're talking to the wrong person. I have no music. I'm innocent. All right. And
Wait, I didn't start your time.
Okay.
So can you hold on 1 second?
I can. Go ahead. All right. I'm Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations, reporting on YouTube and Facebook, and a proud card-carrying member of the brand new United States Tyrant Resistance Team. Members of the Dover Town Council, and most importantly, Councilman Sergio, possessed by the dark, dank, dreadful, disgusting, dreaded demon of chaos, Rodriguez. First, let me explain the helmet. This is no ordinary headgear. This is my customized Sergio Ultra Protection Defensinator X3000, which protects me from sudden and unexpected violent outbursts from a deranged, rageful councilman. Now, why do I wear this? Because when you're in the presence of a man possessed by a vitriolic, venomous, voracious, vigilante violence like Sergio Rodriguez, anything can happen. I've seen the video footage of you, Sergio. One wrong word, one wrong drink in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Sergio might suddenly and without warning channel his inner Lucifer flying over the table towards me at the podium like some deranged, washed-up superhero on crystal meth, crank, and Ovaltine. Wait! Maybe it's not Sergio's fault. Maybe he is, in fact, possessed. Is it Lucifer, Satan, Beelzebub, or, oh no, I got it! It's Sergio Juice! That's right, say his name 3 times. Sergio Juice, Sergio Juice, Sergio Juice, and bam! He appears fish swinging, legs flailing, ready to dropkick a 2-year-old toddler for drinking apple juice on a public sidewalk without a license, or violently tackle a sweet, innocent 85-year-old grandmother crossing the street in her little walker because she didn't get down on her knees and worship as Sergio walked by. Now, let's talk about your greatest sin, Sergio. First, let's reference the video where you attacked a homeless man. Then you pushed another man from behind, pushed him to the ground, he cracked his head open, went unconscious, and you are charged with 3rd-degree aggravated assault, carries a 3 to 5 year prison sentence. And how dare you, how can all of you have this guy here, like nothing happened? Was this your audition for Dover's most violent vigilante? Well, now we need to get serious for a moment. Sergio, I am Leroy Truth. Bow your heads. I, Leroy Truth, are going to help you. Everyone, please bow your heads for a quick exorcism. Oh, holy forces of peace, we command the spirit of evil aggression. Leave Dover, New Jersey, Councilman Sergio Rodriguez at once. The power of God compels you. The power of God compels you. The power of God compels you. Sergio, take your demons of depravity, your micro-dick energy, and your brutal Napoleon complex ego, and resign now. Will you resign right now? I'll take it. On behalf of the people, will you resign now, Sergio?
Will you?
5 seconds.
We're asking. We got 4, 3 seconds to resign. 2, 1.
How about you, Doc?
The power of God compels you.
You guys offer
Did you
rebuttal?
comment already? No, you commented one per meeting.
No,
I'm sorry.
okay. Are you
Unfortunately, yeah, one per meeting.
Osvaldo Rama, 361 East McFarland Street. First of all, I want to tell all you people up there, you guys are doing a hell of a job.
All right, hold on.
You see these
Hold
clowns
on,
laughing in the back?
1 second, please. I'm gonna stop the comments, the laughing and the clapping.
They can laugh all they want.
I'm going to ask you to please respect the speaker at the podium as you were
Yeah, a
respected.
little bit of respect, just a little, just a little.
No.
Poquito.
Anybody else coming up, moving forward, I'm asking you, please give the speaker the same respect that you got when you were at the podium.
Stop me back at 0, please. I was gonna say, you guys are doing a hell of a job. To have patience to deal with these bunch of clowns that are nothing but disrespectful to human beings. There's a person here that was in charge of the Board of Education. She was president, I think. Please do not teach these to your students, what's going on here today. Because what's going on today is a clown show. So if that's what our kids are gonna be subject to in our school, I hope that what is she, Daniela Mendez? She can go back to the school and say, children, this is not what we teach in our schools. we went to this board meeting and a bunch of people got out of control. They were very disrespectful to everybody on this board. Yeah, I'm talking, you can talk later. And what I'm saying is, it's just, it's laughable how ignorant and childish, especially the guy with the football hat. The one over there with the white thing on it. What a clown. Is he from Dover? No, he's probably from Connecticut or somewhere around there. Far. They're only here to stir trouble. Listen to all their comments. What comment came out of their mouth that had anything to do with making Dover better?
Resign,
Nothing.
Sergio.
Nothing. They did absolutely nothing to help out with the town. I live in this town. I was born and raised in this town. I never left this town.
Everybody was.
Clowns like this make Dover look bad, and that's what they're trying to do. This is all about destroying James Dodds and his administration.
Carol, as a former council person, I'm asking you,
It doesn't
please.
matter.
He's a plant.
Please, stop talking out in the public,
Make sure you
please.
stop like my bit. I'm not no plant, buddy. I'm not no plant.
You're
I'm
on Rodriguez
Bartolorama.
payroll.
I'm Bartolorama. That's who I am.
You're on
I don't
his
take
payroll.
it.
You're on
Nobody cares.
Show your face.
Nobody cares.
Address other members of the public.
Nobody.
They're calling me.
Speaker's out of order.
Speaker's out of order. Point of order.
Speaker's out of order.
Stop. The next person that speaks in the public, I'm putting you on notice. I don't care. You want to put me on First Amendment right, you go for it. Let me tell you something. This is going to be an organized meeting. You want to get out of control again, I will call you out of order. The third out of order, I will have you removed from this meeting. You want to file a tort claim, you go ahead. This is going to be an organized meeting. The person is at the microphone speaking. Let him speak and give him the same respect you had when you went up.
Right. We
Please.
didn't address
Mayor
others.
and Board of Aldermen, Board of Councilmen, no, everybody, I apologize. I don't have the patience you guys have. Probably that's why I'm not a council member, because I wouldn't be just kicking bottles. I'm a little bit more violent than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deny it. I have been charged with aggravated assault.
Just like
Is that a threat?
I had a case, and I won the case.
He's making
I won the
threats.
case. So,
Stop.
you know,
Let
being charged
him
is one
speak,
thing,
please.
and being convicted is another. So, you know, hold your horses. Let Sergio have his day in court. I'm nobody's plan, I speak for myself.
You're on Rodriguez
myself.
payroll.
Just remember, I don't need anybody's payroll, but anyway, you guys, listen to this. Don't listen to me because I don't have the patience. You guys have more patience than me. Because to deal with these people and stay quiet during all this time, Sergio, I applaud you. You're gonna have a day in court. All these clowns are laughing. They don't pay your bills. They don't know nothing about you.
Applaud.
We do pay his
You know what's
bills.
funny?
We do pay his
You know what's easy? You know what's ironic here?
salary.
The first video when he kicked the bottle was shown. How come they don't show the second video? When you supposedly knocked somebody to the ground, gave him a concussion, he was carried to the hospital. I want to see that video. You know why? You're not going to see that video? Because it's probably not convenient to show that video. Because it might not add up to what they're accusing him of. Now this thing about the liquor license. I used to own a bar. I used to own a sport bus called Rocky D's. I remember politicians coming up to me telling me,
Your time's up.
So your time's up.
okay, I want to respect the time. If anybody wants to hear any more, we can talk outside. We can finish.
Are you on cocaine?
All right, so Mayor, we've been
Clearly.
very patient, and everyone here has been respectful when certain people have spoken and allowed those comments, even if you didn't agree with them. And I'm gonna remind everyone, you should show the same respect to others' views. That's the point of this assembly. So please, control your emotions and do not burst out. It's only gonna lead to this meeting devolving into chaos, which we don't want here. So hold on, set up your time.
Edward Lefty Grimes. I'm with sativacross.org. We're a 501c3 here in New Jersey, fighting for the rights of the disabled and for cannabis patients' rights, and the First Amendment. On January 1st, the Holy Spirit actually entered this room, believe it or not, and it was actually beautiful to see. You had a real pastor saying a real prayer. It was really cool. You had somebody singing beautiful songs. You all heard it. Some of you heard it. It was beautiful. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, beautiful.
The Holy Spirit was here. He was in this room. You had a fireman getting an award. You had an older couple that was in this town forever that was getting, it was a very touching meeting. And then the Holy Spirit put in some work. He exposed you, Mayor Dodd, for not caring about the disabled, not caring about disabled vets. You had a public party where you had no thought put into disabled vets, no thought put into these cancer patients, no thought put into anybody that was sick, dying, or disabled. Umgats, zilch, bupkis, nada.
Are you proud of yourself for your treatment of vets? You take pictures of disabled vets, you don't miss a photo op, but you don't put the work in. There was a bunch of disabled people up here that were left out of your meeting, left out, and you slammed the door in my face when I tried to discuss it with you. They were left out. You had people like Carol, you had the police department, you had the EMTs and the firemen, they all helped out, they brought a table up, they made those other disabled people feel welcome, feel wanted. They were left out. Normally I'm angry when I see this stuff, but I was sad. I was sad seeing them left out. So then they had to get the elevator working. There was no thought to put in this at all. So the elevator, after a while, finally got worked. He had to have somebody open it with a key. Somebody had to work the elevator. That's not accessibility. When I went down that shaft and I was stuck on the bottom, I tried to push the door open. I was locked in there. I was a fire hazard. They had to unlock the door to let me out of that fire hazard into another fire hazard, where I was in a basement with no emergency egress. So you have all these emergency people thinking about, wow, we got 3 people in wheelchairs. How do we get them out of here? What did God get us into this time? Unbelievable. I was actually sad to see that. I'm not usually angry, I was sad. Disability rights are human rights. And I don't think you know that. 68% of Jesus' miracles were for the disabled. Now you say a prayer before these meetings. I don't know who you're praying to. Maybe it is Satan. Because let me tell you something. You know who else prayed before their meetings? The Pharisees, the ones that killed Jesus. The religious zealots that killed Jesus. They prayed before meetings too. And the government. So you're both. Good luck with your life. God's watching you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the public wish to be heard?
Rebuttals?
Seeing no hands and hearing no voices, I'll close this to the public. And I'm going to read a statement because I think it's important for Dover residents to understand.
Okay, hold up. Let me pause it right here for a second. Mayor Dodd is about to go into this monologue explaining to the Dover residents the reasons why we're here and what we're really about. The speech that he's about to give is full of deflection, hypocrisy, and gaslighting, masquerading as a sincere address. Buckle up. This is going to be thorough.
I want to take this time to address the recent events, such as tonight.
The classic vague opening. Nothing screams, I'm in control, like starting with ambiguity. This isn't about recent events. It's about your discomfort with accountability. If you really wanted clarity, you'd start by addressing specific concerns instead of launching into a defensive monologue.
And provide clarity regarding certain individuals who have attempted to disrupt our community under the guise of transparency and accountability.
You're really coming out swinging against two of the most fundamental democratic principles? That's bold. Accountability and transparency aren't guises. They're demands from the people who pay your salary. The real question is, why you're so threatened by these principles? Perhaps because you've been avoiding them for so long?
Please stay quiet in the audience. You had an opportunity, now it's mine. These self-proclaimed freedom fighters are nothing more than social media influencers with ulterior motives.
And what are you exactly? A self-proclaimed guardian of the public trust? Let's not pretend your motives are pure while you stand there using taxpayer resources to deliver this hit piece. Activists don't need your approval to hold you accountable. If our presence bothers you, it might be worth asking why.
Prioritizing personal gain and notoriety over genuine concern for Dover and its residents. Let's begin with some context. Being a social media influencer can be a very lucrative career. In New Jersey, the average salary for such roles range from $58,000 to $87,000 annually, with some earning well into six-figure range, based on content and reach. Content related to government often has an even broader reach. To put it into perspective, the average salary in our state is $57,530, or about $28 an hour. These influencers are far removed from the financial realities of many residents, and operate primarily for profit, not for the public good. I encourage you to see through the theatrics that is being staged here tonight.
Thank you for the impromptu economics lesson, but this is irrelevant. Earning a living from activism doesn't invalidate our cause, just like your salary doesn't invalidate yours. Are we supposed to believe you show up to council meetings out of the goodness of your heart? By the way, many of us operate at a financial loss, traveling on our own dime to do work you'd rather we didn't.
So here's the question. Why would a Connecticut resident, along with his associates, here in Dover, why are they here in Dover, Morris County?
Because the First Amendment doesn't stop at the state line. Activists go where we're needed, and clearly Dover fits the bill. The real question is why your leadership has created an environment where people feel compelled to welcome outside help. If you were doing such a stellar job, would we even be necessary?
Their behavior speaks volumes. Just examine their employment history and track record, like I have.
Oh, you've done your homework? Fascinating. Did you dig into your own track record with the same fervor? Maybe the residents of Dover should examine your employment history, although they probably wouldn't have to dig that deep to find what's lacking. Also, how is scrutinizing someone's employment history relevant to the questions being asked of you? Sounds like a convenient distraction.
They approach local governments with vindictive, disrespectful tactics designed to provide reactions from officials. Most times invited to a community by others is what exactly happened here, as per Mr. Truth.
Rebuttal?
Their ultimate goal is to sensationalize these encounters for personal gain.
Sensationalize. That's a new one. If by sensationalize you mean shining light on government officials who think they're above scrutiny, then sure. But let's not pretend you're above sensationalism. Your entire speech is one long attempt to paint activists as villains and yourself as the victim. Perhaps the real issue isn't our goals, it's that we're succeeding in exposing your failures.
Creating content that supports their platform and fuels their business. But here in Dover, as I'm sure is the case in other communities, their antics serve another purpose: to assist disgruntled former and aspiring political officials in undermining their elected representatives and making a mockery of our town.
Ah, the good old political conspiracy theory. Blame the activists for stirring the pot, but don't address why the pot was simmering in the first place. If your leadership was so strong, there wouldn't be disgruntled politicians or residents looking for alternatives. Maybe try solving problems instead of scapegoating.
Their actions are not about accountability or advocacy. They're a spectacle designed to entertain, draw attention to themselves, and support the personal agendas of others who thrive on division. These individuals have no interest in the well-being of our community. It's residents or challenges we face.
Translation. They're not saying what I want to hear. Just because we challenge you doesn't mean we don't care about Dover. In fact, our willingness to face hostility and smear campaigns suggests we care far more than you give us credit for. Meanwhile, your refusal to address our concerns says a lot about your interest in the well-being of the community.
Sounds like Hitler.
Instead, they thrive on chaos, they mock our town, and misrepresent what we stand for here in Dover.
We're the Jews.
Let me be clear. I will not dignify their theatrics with undue attention. And that's why there's no response to their comments.
Oh, please. You just spent your entire speech doing exactly that. If we were as insignificant as you claim, why dedicate so much time and energy to us? You don't attack what doesn't threaten you. Your defensiveness is practically an admission of guilt.
Their pattern is transparent. Baiting officials, promoting disruptive behavior, and using these manufactured conflicts for clicks and income at the expense of others, including the residents of Dover.
Here's a thought. If you don't want to be baited, stop taking the bait. And if these so-called conflicts are manufactured, why not dismantle them with facts instead of whining about disruption? Accountability isn't disruption. It's the bare minimum expectation of public officials.
A quick review of their online platform reveals a consistent cycle of trolling and self-promotion. Their concern for Dover is nothing more than a performance. And let's be honest, what investigative journalist that you know who makes songs and action figures out of themselves?
The kind who knows how to engage the public? Maybe if your meetings were half as created, you wouldn't need activists to get people interested in what's happening in Dover. And let's not forget, making dry topics like government accountability accessible to the masses is a skill, one that you clearly lack.
What figure would you see come here tonight and make a mockery of our town by being in a football helmet? Make no mistake, this bait and click is nothing more than tomfoolery. However, the deeper concern lies with those who invited these individuals into our community. Those who seek to benefit from the embarrassment they've caused here in Dover as a whole. These are the same people who will soon seek your trust and votes, despite having sown division and chaos.
He's doing the
Their
chaos.
actions undermine our progress and distract from the real work we're doing here in Dover for everyone. Please stop. I gave you the respect. I'm asking you to give me the respect.
Go right
I
ahead,
need some
brother.
people who you truly want to represent your community here in Dover.
We want him to resign. We want
Dover
Sergio to
deserves-
resign.
Warning one.
I've been kicked out.
Dover deserves better than traveling theatrics and manufactured outrage.
I've been kicked out.
We deserve honest, constructive conversations and actions that prioritize the well-being of our town.
How do you say resign in Spanish?
Together, let's focus on building a stronger, more united Dover.
Unity doesn't mean silencing dissent or vilifying critics. It means addressing legitimate concerns even when they're uncomfortable. If you truly want a stronger Dover, stop wasting time with speeches like this and start doing the work.
Stop playing into the theatrics that these people from Connecticut, Atlantic City, and other towns come to our town to make a mockery of Dover.
Edison.
North Bergen.
Dover.
And remember,
Mine helps.
if you choose to entertain clowns, you will ultimately all be the circus.
What about that? What about that?
You're the circus.
And yet here you are auditioning for the lead role. Theatrics, distractions, and deflection. Your speech is the very circus you're warning us about. If Dover is a circus, it's because the leaders are acting like ringmasters instead of public servants.
Let's move past the distractions and get Dover back on track.
Motion to adjourn.
With that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Your statement is nothing more than an attempt to deflect attention away from the real issues, the serious issues facing Dover. The residents of Dover deserve better than public officials who attack critics while ignoring their own misconduct. Until real change happens, we'll keep doing what we do, because someone has to.
I'm the reason they banned the American flag in Edison. They were targeted.
Hey, Jersey Watcher, he made you take off your mask to reveal your mask. Genius, counselor, genius. Look, he's laughing. He knows it's true. Rumor has it this was a circus long before we got here. Yo, Leroy, I did thumbnail.
If he would ask me today, Bardo, what do you think? I'd say, resign. I'm going to join all you guys and get in the fuck out. I'm telling you.
That's right. Let's do this. It's awfully strange to me how things can change when they had the power and they had to say what goes, and we just had to deal with it. It was no problems. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, stop your crying. But ever since we got the platform, surely all you've done is cry and whine. So let's get to it. To the bootlickers and the trolls, I think that you should slow your roll. We got the game locked in control. Just gotta tuck your tails and go. All you do is cry like babies about all these once-A auditors. Well, now that audits are popping, maybe just take your cameras everywhere you please. So please don't judge when I make my rounds to record the city streets while looking out for the POLICE. I gotta keep my head low, broad daylight. They already know that my tax dollars paid for these city streets. So I do my thing just like God please. I don't back down because you told me that ain't how you build. So to the bootlickers and the trolls, I think that you should slow your roll. We got the game locked in control. Just gotta tuck your tails and go. Focus for that. Can we pay everyone in compliments for entertainment? For just being good at their job? Whatever. Step right up to the circus. Who's thirsty? The greatest show on earth. But if you drink for too long, hey, you never know what's gonna happen. To the bootlickers and the trolls, the greatest show on earth. But if you drink for